Sometimes when you report on a run-of-the-mill story, shit gets crazy. What's up, guys? My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist with MLN News, the best damn website on the planet, where I report on the ATF, FBI, and all the agencies and organizations that want to violate your God-given and constitutionally protected right to bear arms. I am also a gun rights activist with Gun Owners of America, Washington, D.C.'s only no-compromise gun lobby. You know the drill. If you really like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want people to see it, share it out. Let me know what you think of this story because it is going to get weird. All right, so Louisiana, constitutional carry passed. Fireworks went off. Everyone celebrated. It was a veto-proof majority. Then the governor vetoed it. All right, the governor, let's go ahead and talk about him really fast and just get it out of the way. Governor Edwards in Louisiana ran as a blue dog Democrat pro-gun guy until he was in his lame duck session, and then he took a hard turn to the left. It looks like that he might be auditioning for a position in the Biden administration, but that is just speculation. I have no proof of that other than his erratic actions and his erratic swerving to the left. But that's not where the story lands. This is going to get very, very crazy here. All right, like I said, it was a veto-proof majority in the House and the Senate. And this is a Senate bill, so it has to come out of the Senate. Well, in Louisiana, they have something really weird. Instead of voting for a veto override session, they have to vote not to have it. They have never had a veto override session in Louisiana history. It looks like there's a very, very good chance, by midnight we should know, that this will be the first veto override session in history, which makes sense. I think it should automatically go there no matter what. And it looked like there was a veto-proof majority for constitutional carry. So everyone should be celebrating, right? Well, not so fast. According to MLN sources and my sources, a few days ago, the governor met with the Democrats, because 6 Democrats voted for constitutional carry. So the governor met with the Democrats that voted for the bill, and a few Republicans, right? So out of those 6 Democrats, I'm being told 5 of the 6 are now voting against constitutional carry, against an override of the governor's veto of constitutional carry. I don't know who the 6th Democrat is who's not voting for it. The Democrats that did vote for constitutional carry is Chad Brown, Robbie Carter, Matt Cormier, Travis Johnson, Jeremy Lacombe, and Francis Thompson. Just a guess, I would guess Matt Cormier is still going to vote for it, but I don't know. I don't know. That's neither here nor there, and that's not the juicy part. I'm not sure what they were offered or whatnot, but yeah. So you have 5 of the 6 Democrats changing their votes, but not only that, you have some Republicans that are changing their votes as well. And let's go ahead and take a look at those guys and discuss why they might be changing their vote and why they might not be changing their vote. But I'm pretty sure this might be why they're changing their vote. All right. First, Ronnie Johns. He was absent for the initial passage of constitutional carry, but he voted yes on the concurrence. So basically, they vote twice. But here's the thing. He has now accepted a position with the Gaming Commission. So he was appointed to a lucrative position in the Gaming Commission. And now all of a sudden, he is against constitutional carry. I have not talked to Ronnie Johns, so I don't know if the governor giving him a position in the Gaming Commission has anything to do with him changing his vote. I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. The second guy, and this is where it gets very interesting, is a guy named Patrick Connick. Patrick Connick voted yes for both the initial vote and the concurrence vote for constitutional carry. He supported constitutional carry until a couple days ago. And now he decided he doesn't support constitutional carry. And this is where we get into the kind of, I wouldn't say bribery, but, trading stuff. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe what I've heard is wrong. I was told by a gentleman that's on the record, and it'll be in the MLN article, that Connick traded his vote for constitutional carry, the vote against it, for a project called the Roosevelt Overpass. Or the Manhattan Overpass. I can't remember which one it was. But I think it was Roosevelt Overpass. Yeah, Roosevelt Overpass. Basically, the governor was not going to give him funding unless he voted against constitutional carry. So when I first heard that, I'm like, well, I got one person going on record, and they aren't a person in the know, but I can't report on that because there's one person. But it did send me down this rabbit hole where I started talking to other people. So I got in touch with another person, and I asked him, do you know anything about that? And he's like, oh yeah, I know. He traded his vote for the Roosevelt Overpass. And I asked, well, how do you know that? And the quote was, and this guy's very in the know, was, I heard it from the horse's mouth. I'm like, wow, that's a source. And another source. One on the record, one off the record. But I can't go to press with this. So I asked another person, and they're like, oh yeah, I heard that. I was like, did you hear from them? No, I heard it from an aide. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to use that because that's not a direct source. Then I ran into another source that I heard it from an aide. So then I ran into another person who actually heard it from Connick himself. So at this point, we have 4 people who are all saying the same thing. 3 are direct sources. Actually, 5 people. 3 are direct sources. So that is enough to go to press with it and say, hey, these people are saying this. But let me get Connick a call and see what he has to say about it. So I called Connick and I asked him, why did you change your vote? And his answer was, my law enforcement told me to change it. I'm like, you're law enforcement? Yes, I listen to the chiefs. So I was like, well, all the data shows that constitutional carry doesn't make a state any less safe. And his answer was, I don't believe in data. It blew me away at this point. I'm like, what? I believe in what my law enforcement says. So my next question was, has any of your law enforcement ever served in a state that had constitutional carry? His answer was, you're the journalist, you go ask them. I was like, okay, that's kind of bizarre, but yeah, let's just roll with that. My second question is, why is Louisiana different from the other states? And his answer was, Louisiana has New Orleans, and no other state that has constitutional carry has a city bigger than New Orleans, which Phoenix is 1.3 million more people than New Orleans. St. Louis has more people than New Orleans. There's probably about 20 different cities that are bigger than New Orleans in these other states that have constitutional carry. So, whatever. So I hit him with, hey, I heard this thing about the Roosevelt Overpass. He came out and denied that the Roosevelt Overpass has anything to do with him changing his vote. But he did want to make sure that I reported that the governor is a good man who's had his name dragged through the mud by pro-gun people like you and me, I guess. I don't know. He also called me fake news, but that's beyond the point. You and me, and that he has done a lot for his district with building stuff and stuff like that, which I'm like, okay, well, if he didn't have anything to do with passing the Roosevelt Overpass, why are you bringing up the stuff that he's building stuff? And he's like, you're the investigative journalist, you find out. Which I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, I'm just going to report the facts. then he also stated that Governor Edwards is a great man and a good Catholic and a great friend of his. So there's that. So will constitutional carry be the law of the land in Louisiana? Will it get overridden in the veto session? I can't answer that, but I can tell you one thing. If you're in Louisiana, it is time to call these people and tell them to vote. First, Clay Schneider is the Speaker of the House. He is a Republican, but he had to get 35 Democrats to vote for him. Only 22 Republicans voted for him. For the majority of the Republicans didn't vote for him. So we have to put a lot of pressure on him. And Paige Cortez, who is the president of the Senate, and the bill has to come out of the Senate. So we need to put a lot of pressure on her. She's not actually for the veto session and has never publicly supported constitutional carry. So we need to put a lot of pressure on Cortez because the Senate president decides what bills get brought up in the veto session. So she could actually kill the bill right there and just never bring it up. So we need to put pressure on her. And then other than that, we need to put pressure on Rory Adams, who is a independent that leans Democrat, Chad Brown, who's a Democrat, Robbie Carter, who's a Democrat, Mac Cormier, who is a Democrat, Travis Johnson, who's a Democrat, Jeremy Lacombe, who's a Democrat, Francis Thompson, Democrat, and Melinda White, who is a independent. Also, Kenny Cox is a Democrat, and also we need to put pressure on Gary Smith, who is a Democrat who's probably going to be running for governor in 2023, and just push him in the right direction. There's Kenny Cox, who we also is a Democrat, who we can put pressure on as well. And we can maybe get him to vote yes on it. And Stephanie Hilferty, who voted absent on both the concurrence and the initial voting of constitutional carry. So if you put pressure on those guys, maybe we can get them to do the right thing and vote for constitutional carry. In Louisiana, it's been definitely an interesting rabbit hole. Louisiana is worse than Chicago in a lot of ways. I mean, it's corrupt down there. So the title of this video is going to be Corruption in the Bayou, and I hope you liked it. If you did like it, I have a Patreon. I spend many hours working on these stories. So if you want to support me on Patreon, go right ahead. It's patreon.com/John Crump. I also have a live channel. And in the live channel, you can listen to me spew my stuff and talk to interesting people from around the world. All right, with that said, stay ever free, stay ever vigilant. Keep in the fight. I'm out. Peace.